What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Boss Podcast Show. We're striving to be the #1 podcast show for entrepreneurs, Amazon resellers, and anything and everything where you can become your own boss. With me today is this very, very, very special guest. This man and his partner, who unfortunately isn't here today, but we got the main part, the social media guru right here, man. We got Amazon lit, man. There's no need for any introduction. We got Amazon lit here today. Welcome, Mr. Eric. Appreciate you being here today.
Yeah, Richie, absolutely excited to be here, man.
Man, you're here in Miami.
Yes.
You're here for a seller conference.
Yes.
Awesome. That kicks off this weekend?
Yes, there's like a light dinner tonight, and then tomorrow's the event.
Awesome, man.
I literally just got off the airplane, came straight here.
Awesome. The man's got off the airplane. He's here, man. He's here. I have to say real quick, I saw him pull into the parking lot today. And you know, I'm not trying to, you know, it's just, you know, I looked outside because I got your message and you were like, yo, you know, I can't find a place. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm responding. All of a sudden, the man has a nice car. Okay, pulls in. All of a sudden, I see the drop top coming back. Now it's raining outside here in Miami, and I'm like, I don't think he meant to do that. I was like, yo, my man, but he's like, I gotta go. Okay. But man, glad you're here, man.
Yeah,
glad you're
great
here.
to be here.
I mean, you've literally done Amazon Lit as a company, right? Is that your company name, or is this? It is your company name.
Yeah, that's our business.
How did you come up with Amazon Lit?
Sebastian and I was late one night at the office, typical of us, and we were just like, what's something catchy that's trending? And at the time, like everybody was saying lit, you know, and it was the younger generation. But me and Sebastian were like, listen, we got to appeal to everybody, you know. So we were just like, we threw a bunch of names at the wall, and Amazon Lit stuck. And we registered
Your tagline at the end of your stories and your reels are
"Stay lit."
Stay lit, baby.
Stay
I love
lit.
it. I love it. Stay lit, man.
Stay lit.
So you guys are Amazon sellers, but more focused in the wholesale industry.
Yes, correct.
You guys are like pretty big time, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys have done last year's revenue $62.5 million.
Yes.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is absolutely not. And if you guys haven't seen on social media, on IG, Amazon Lit, I mean, these guys, when they show their pictures of their warehouses, their processes, Eric's always shooting down a ton of knowledge for free, by the way. For free. We'll get into some other, you know what I mean? But, you know, for free, and just really inspirational posts that really help motivate. I know it's actually helped motivate me in my business.
That's good.
You know, I'm glad you're here with that.
That makes it all worth it for me.
$62.5 million. Like, think of that. What's your profit margin?
It's like net between 8 and 10%.
That is unreal.
Yeah.
That is unreal for the hustle. You guys have 80K on IG for followers.
Yeah.
You guys have 10K on YouTube.
Yeah, which the YouTube is underrated. We need to get that up.
Okay.
ASAP.
You've been working on YouTube?
Yeah.
What have you been doing on YouTube?
So it's been a challenge for me because I found out, like, I'm an information guy, right? I try to deliver as much helpful information as possible. But with YouTube, as you know, because you have a large following, people want to be entertained as well.
Yes.
You know, so it's this struggle for me that I've been working on of delivering the information and being entertaining at the same time. So I'm working on it. I'm getting there. I've been doing weekly live YouTubes, which has been cool. They're called Sunday Sessions. So those have been panning out and really growing the following.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know that I've actually been at a few conferences here in Miami the last 2 years with you. And I actually shouted you out on one of my lives on my channel where I was like, you know, people need to be entertained.
Yes.
It's not, you know, I say it all the time where I feel like there is a lot of good information out there, but people aren't not so much processing, but they're not absorbing it because they're just, it's boring to them. People make it boring. Yeah. And I had said, you know, people like Amazon Lit, who is absolutely not boring, because if you see this man live, he's running up to the stage, he's jumping up on chairs, he's yelling it in the mic, and it's entertaining to watch. You stay focused. And the one thing I notice about you is a lot of times when you talk, you move back and forth, which is awesome. Because for me, it keeps me engaged.
Yes, it's important.
Is that something that's done intentionally when you're on there? And
and that was a skill set that Sebastian and I developed years and years ago. We actually used to travel the Northeast, and like when I was young, I wanted to be a rapper.
Okay.
So like that stage presence was all developed in my late teens and early 20s when I would travel with Sebastian and we would perform on all these stages. So At the time I thought I was going to be a rapper. Little did I know it was going to help me be a performer and be a better presenter. So I'm grateful for the experience.
That's pretty dope, man. And coming right off that, where did you and Sebastian, where did you guys meet? Did you guys go to school together, or how did you guys come together?
Yeah, so Sebastian's parents got divorced when we were like 15 or 16, and he actually moved to the town that I lived in, and we met in high school.
And where are you guys from?
Mount Olive, New Jersey.
Mount Olive, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Is that any reference to the Mount Olive, actual Mount Olive brand?
No reference. No
Okay,
reference. It's a small little suburban town. The high school had maybe like 1,000 kids in it, so nothing huge.
Okay.
And we connected through partying at the time. We were both big smokers and drinkers, and that kind of brought us together. And now we've since stopped all that and just fully focused on entrepreneurship.
He hit something there where he said they came together through partying, drinking, smoking. I used to be a former smoker, cigarette smoker.
Yeah.
And also a former DJ and club promoter and stuff like that. And some of my best connections were met outside smoking, because when they banned it in Massachusetts, they did all this stuff. But some of my best connections came from socializing outside, right?
Yeah.
You get a light. Oh, you need a light. You start talking about something.
You meet
all of a sudden you connect.
Crazy people, yeah. And you build those relationships that sometimes last a lifetime. And now he's my homie. Me and him were.
Yeah, you guys are pretty tight, man. You could see it. You could see the energy through your social media.
Yeah.
What did you guys do before Amazon? So like you guys met, you guys became boys.
Yes.
You guys became friends. Was Amazon even a thing, or did you guys tackle any type of venture before, prior to Amazon?
No. So when we met, we were our mid-teens. So there was nothing except for hustling, selling random things. So we would go to the city, buy like Louis Vuitton and Dooney and Burke fake purses and flip those.
Hell yeah.
Jewelry. But, the Amazon thing didn't start till Sebastian was probably 28. I was 27 or 26.
Okay.
And I went into his basement one day because we kind of went our own ways. And I showed up to his house. I was like, at the time I was really struggling with life. And I was like, Sebastian, I need a place to stay. Can I sleep on your couch? And he's like, yeah, sure. Come sleep on my couch. And he's like, come in my basement. I want to show you something. And like we go down to his basement at his uncle's house, and he's got like, I don't know, the basement's packed with products. Probably something like what your house looks like when you come home.
Did you put a post about this? I remember seeing a corner of a picture.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm buying products at Costco, Sam's Club, BJ's. And I'm flipping them on Amazon for a profit. And I was like, no way.
Now, what year is this?
2012, maybe.
Okay, 2012.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, I laughed. I was like, this guy's losing it,
Similar to what people do today. Even today, after it's been around, people still kind of laugh a little bit, but that's funny.
Yeah. And he was just like, yeah, I've been doing this for a couple months. I'm making some money. And he's like, I'm considering quitting my job. And I was like, you're going to quit your job? At the time, he was a bartender.
Okay.
And, he ended up quitting his job a couple months later, and he let me know, like, Eric, if you ever need some extra work, or just let me know. I'll help you out. And at the time, I was really struggling with my own, health issues and stuff. And I called him one day. I was like, hey, I need a job. And I started working in the warehouse as a packer, labeling inventory.
So 2012 is when you started your Amazon business.
Yes.
And you guys started in Sebastian's basement of his house.
Yes.
Or his parents' house, maybe.
His uncle's house.
His uncle's house.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys were doing about how much in revenue when you first started? Around
that first year, we did $500,000-$600,000 that first year out of the basement.
And you saw that and you were like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
Yeah. We knew we could do much more.
That's pretty amazing, man. Going back to Sebastian's basement and starting, like, those were like the roots.
Yeah.
Before you saw that $500,000-$600,000 in revenue, did you think, like you said, you laughed? Did you think this is something that is not going to last, or were you like, you know what, maybe this could last? Let's just kind of wing it and kind of just see where it goes, kind of thing.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even think I thought that far. So I know Sebastian, he kept telling me, like, let's just give it a year. Let's just give it 1 year. If it fails, we can always go back to being a bartender, and you can go back to being a bum. And I was like, all right, fuck it. Let's give it 1 year.
He was like, yeah, whatever. Let's, we'll try for a year, see if it works out.
Yeah.
You and what was some of the things you were selling? Like, to make that profit, that 500,000-600,000? Because a lot of people, the biggest thing that I come across that people say is, I'm gated in everything. So I'm not sure how in 2012, I didn't start until 2018.
Yeah.
So in 2012, were you still having issues with selling brands, or it wasn't like that back then?
It was almost the wild, wild west back then.
Was it really?
You know, and most of our money came from Kirkland products, Kirkland, the peanuts, all the medicines, the acetaminophen. We sold a lot of like Welch's fruit snacks. We'd repackage them in 100 counts, 50 counts. And like a lot of it was Costco and Sam's Club for us in the beginning. Imagine signing up to Amazon today and not being restricted and just being able to sell whatever you want to sell. That's insane. Yeah. What was some of your like most profitable products from beginning until, like, if you were to pick 2-year profit? Well, you just said Kirkland and some of those Kirkland
brands
was huge for us. You know, millions of dollars in sales we did with Kirkland.
Fast forward to today. What do you find that some of your most profitable products are?
Yeah. So one of our most profitable products consistently for the past 3 years is a grocery product. It's a health food product. We have a direct relationship with the manufacturer. They're an international conglomerate, so they're in 50 different countries, and we ship maybe 5,000 or 6,000 orders a month with just that one product.
So are you merchant fulfilling those, or are those FBA?
No, we're 100% FBA.
100% FBA.
Yeah.
Okay. And in your how big is your warehouse?
It's 20,000 square feet.
20,000 square feet.
The lease is up in March 1st.
That's unbelievable. The I remember seeing you post pictures of different warehouses that, like, where you started. You started like from the basement. What was your first? Because again, a lot of the people that watch that are looking to getting warehouses, they're like, oh, is 1,000 square feet too small? Am I going to outgrow it too fast? But a 3,000 square foot warehouse is kind of out of my budget.
Yes.
So what would you say to somebody who wants to, like, what was your first warehouse? How big was it? And then what would you recommend to somebody just starting today in 2023?
Yeah. So our first warehouse was 900 square feet. And I would suggest, if you're just getting started and you're like, you know what, I think a warehouse could really benefit my business. My home is getting filled up quickly. My garage is packed. Like, what should I start with? I'd say between 800 and 1,500 square feet is pretty reasonable. But it also depends on where you are in the country. Right. Miami, that's going to be a nice chunk of change. But if you live in Indiana, you're going to get that dumb cheap.
Kansas City, get a 1,500 square foot warehouse for $200 a month.
They pay you.
Yeah. Miami, man, if you want to get a 1,500 square foot, 2,000 square foot warehouse in Miami, I mean, you're talking at least 5,000-6,000.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
unbelievable. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it won't have an elevated bay door. It's going to be ground level. So it would probably be old. So you definitely got to do something.
A lot of old architecture here in Florida, in particular.
Yeah,
even up in like Boca and Fort Lauderdale, a lot of older infrastructure. I don't see a lot of newer warehouse structures or anything kind of newer until you go probably about an hour north of Boca, which is kind of hidden like to mid Florida to northern Florida. They started going crazy with constructions.
Yeah.
So you had 19. You said 900 square foot was your first warehouse.
Yes.
How long did it take you to outgrow that warehouse before you decided to go into another warehouse? And then how big was that?
Yeah, it was about a year. So a year, and we moved into a 3,000 square foot warehouse.
That seems like a very conservative jump. That's a really good. Yeah. That's a good number. Yeah. 900 to 3,000. That seems like that's right on par.
It was perfect. And the cool thing about the new 3,000 square foot warehouse was it had 2 bay doors. At the 800 or 900 square foot, we only had 1 bay door. So the 2 bay doors allowed us, to get deliveries and send deliveries like all at the same time. There was no waiting around.
That's crazy. And then you went from 3,000 to what?
So in the same building, the guy who owned it owned the entire building. So the tenant next door moved out, and we actually knocked down a wall and added an additional 7,000 square feet right in the same building. So we upgraded to 10.
From 9 to 3 to 10.
Yeah.
And then let me guess. You went from 10 to 20.
No. There's an intermediate in there.
Okay.
So we knocked down another wall in the same place, and we upgraded to 15. Okay. And it was like an L shape, so it was kind of odd because the products would come in one side, they'd have to go all the way to the other end. It was just a lot of moving stuff around.
Okay.
And we stayed in that 15K square foot warehouse for, I don't know, maybe 2 years.
So to do that twice now, to go from 3 to 10 in the same warehouse.
Yeah.
To go from 10 to 15 in the same warehouse.
Yes.
Now, but you went from 15 to 20.
Yeah, 15, 20
in the
was
same
the next
warehouse.
spot. No, 20 was the next spot.
Okay. I was gonna say, so you knocked down 2 walls. You must have. My question was gonna be, you must have had a really good relationship with that either company or person to be able to knock down those walls, right?
Yeah.
Or was that always an option when you signed?
No, we never even considered it, but it just kind of worked that way. He's like, hey, I got these spaces, and we're like, can we knock down the wall? And he's like, yeah, sure. Just knock down the wall. We knocked down enough to get our forklift through. You know, it was maybe 13 feet high, and
because you probably barely had to even move anything, right? Everything kind of stayed where it was, and you just kind of expanded out.
Yeah, we just expanded.
And that's until you moved into your 20,000 square feet.
Yeah, which is where we are now, where we've been for 4 years. And like I said earlier, our lease is up at March 1st, so we're looking for a bigger space.
You're looking for a bigger space?
Yeah.
You're looking to go into like a 30 or 50?
Yeah, we're looking like 28 to 35.
How big is too big?
I think 50 would be too big.
Too big.
Yeah, for us right now.
Okay.
It would be just the expense would be crazy.
Would be crazy.
Yeah,
Man,
talking $70K a month.
$70K a month. If you moved into a 50K.
50, yeah, it'd be like 70 to 80K a month.
That's wild. And that comes out at, well, I guess everything's a tax write-off, maybe.
No. Not everything.
Not tax advice. It's not tax advice. Don't listen to me.
But yeah, up in New Jersey, the rates, you're looking at $17 to $19 a square foot, sometimes before camp fees, which is like an additional expense. So you're locking in at $19 to $21, which is a square foot, which is a nice chunk of change.
Yeah, that sure is, man. Holy crap. Now, is your warehouse located in New Jersey or are you in New York?
No, we're in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
And that's where you plan to stay?
Yeah, Sebastian's got his whole family there. I got my family there.
You guys don't want to just take everybody and move down to South Beach?
No, I would love it. I would love it, but our employees, it's tough to get people to uproot, and they've been with us all. We have a very high retention rate. People love working for us. We provide benefits and just a great company morale. So I don't want to lose the employees.
And now, how many employees do you have?
About 50.
50 employees.
In-house, and then another 10 or 15 overseas.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you provide benefits.
Yes.
Which include, I'm sure, medical and stuff for them.
Yeah.
The funny thing is,
vision,
and I can see that I could definitely understand that the retention would be there because all I see you guys doing in your posts is celebrating. Yeah. I see you guys working, but you guys are always celebrating. There's a couple of posts where they're in this like conference room, right? I always see the conference room, and like I just saw Sebastian's birthday. Everybody was singing "Happy Birthday, Sebastian!" Happy birthday, Sebastian! Yeah. So I wish you could have been here, but I saw that today actually. But like, there's always somebody celebrating some kind of either achievement, and doing something like that. And speaking into achievements is going to go right into what I was thinking about going into. But you guys offer a I don't want to call it a course because I don't want to put you in the same category as some of these other people. But what you guys offer eSellers RI?
Yes.
What would you categorize that as?
It's a course mentorship community and first access to all the events we host all over the world.
So they offer it's basically like Wholesale School, pretty much. It's like Wholesale School. Like if you want to know what you're doing, and we'll definitely put links in the description for you guys if you guys need to check it out or you want to check it out or whatnot. Yeah. But you guys offer awards.
Yes.
To people that are now all these people are just wholesaling, right? There's no other.
No, a lot of them, they start off, doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage. They're trying to make the transition.
Okay.
So there's some who maybe 50-50 split between OA, RA, and wholesale. And then there's some private label guys who got some extra cash they want to throw around and they join for that. And then we have some really large wholesale businesses.
I'm actually really glad you said that because I've had some people mention to me how I felt about your course, and my answer is always the same. I'm like, well, I can't comment. I don't know. I know they know what they're doing. I've never actually taken the course. If it was up to me and I was to make a decision, I would say I'd probably trust these guys, right? These guys know what they're doing. These guys are not afraid to show their numbers and they're not afraid to show their cards. For a lot of you people out there that email me and ask me, I don't want to go into wholesale. I mean, it's not just about wholesale. People are starting in RA and OA and transitioning into wholesale or learning how to transition into wholesale. You've heard it here first from the guy who freaking wrote the book. So
it's cool too because those awards we ship out. So I have all the data on everybody's sales. So our community, they sell about $35 million a month on Amazon.
35 million.
Yeah.
Somebody sells $35 million a month.
No. The community collectively, they do about $35 million a month.
A group of people that sell $35 million a month.
Yeah.
That is What's the math on that per year? 33. It's 3,900,
360.
390, 390 million.
It's
a
up
year?
there.
Something like that.
Yeah,
It's 400 million.
It's close to $500 million.
That is absolutely fucking nuts. That is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
What are the tiers on your awards? Do you start with 100,000 in sales a month kind of thing, or do you have something smaller to help?
Yeah, definitely. 10K, proof of concept.
Okay.
10K is where people are like, wow, this works.
Right.
Because 10K is not even that challenging.
No.
You
be doing 10K a week.
Yeah, you could be doing 10K a week easy. Hit a couple retail stores and, without a doubt, some online stores, without a doubt, 10K. So that's like the proof of concept trophy. And then after that's 50K a month. That's when you really start getting some momentum and you're like, I could definitely build this to 6 figures monthly.
That's wild. What's your biggest award that you have?
2 million a month.
2 million a month.
Yeah.
Now, you said you help a lot of bigger wholesale guys. You have, is there somebody that really stands out that started from say the 10K award and now does $1 million a month or something like that?
Yeah. So this gentleman, Ethan, he really stands out to me. So before he joined eSellers Orai, this was maybe two years ago, I'd say, he was very on the fence. And I had a phone call with him and his father for about an hour just so they could learn more about me and I could learn more about them. And they made the commitment. And listen, at the end of the day, eSellers Orai is $3,000. Not a lot of cash, right? When you think about it.
Is that a write-off?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's technically you're only paying 65% of that, which is huge, right? And sometimes the cost of not investing in something is much more than the cost of actually investing in it.
I agree.
So he joined, right? His business started to really grow. He was doing right around a little less than $1 million a month about, a year, maybe 15 months later.
Okay.
And at the time we created a new program for large wholesalers, which is called the Inner Circle. And he joined the Inner Circle, and from the Inner Circle, he grew from $1 million a month to a little less than 2.5 million a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
2.5 million a month.
Yeah.
Now he does wholesale.
Yes, he's 100% wholesale.
And when I see these bigger numbers, they're usually wholesale guys. When I see these million, 10 million a month accounts, it's usually because they're doing wholesale.
Yes.
What would you say is an average margin of somebody doing wholesale? Because I'm a big RA guy, right?
Yeah.
So all my YouTube videos are on RA and retail arbitrage. I don't really mess with OA, and if I do, I really don't film it because it's boring. I'm sitting at a computer,
sitting at a desk.
Same thing like wholesale.
Clicking
away.
Yeah.
It's not entertaining.
Yes.
Right? But with RA, you can have profit margins as high as 100%.
Yeah.
Sometimes 120, 150%.
Yeah,
right?
they're nowhere near that.
What would you say a good healthy profit margin for wholesale?
Yeah, average is between 15 and 25. So landing right at 20 is pretty standard.
And I mean, if you're hitting 20%, but you're able to order the same product over time,
Yeah.
time and time again, that replenishable. All it takes is hard work, dedication, and time.
Yeah, it's a volume game.
It's a volume game.
It's a volume game, 100%. You get a couple SKUs that are selling 500-600 units a month, at 20% on a $20 product, you're talking a nice chunk of change back in your pocket.
Now, somebody joins. Well, first of all, can you tell me what is eSellers RI? What does that stand for?
eSellers Resource Initiative.
Okay, so eSellers, we can figure that out.
Yes.
Resource Initiative. Okay,
Yes.
all right, cool. I was always wondering. I'm like, does that have? I would think my dumb ass. I'm like, yo, is that Rhode Island? Is that what is it? Like RI? Is it? I'm trying to think of a name's initials, but okay, Resellers Initiative. Okay, cool. So a typical person that joins eSellers RI,
Yes.
right? What can they expect to learn as far? Because I think there might be. I don't know if there's misconceptions, but somebody who signs up.
Yes.
Can they expect to get a head start with distributors or certain products? Or is it more like, I'm going to give you a fishing rod and teach you how to fish. You have to do it. I'm not going to give you the fish to eat.
The second. It's the second, right? And I'm a firm believer. I don't give distributors to anybody. And the reason why is because then you become Eric reliant instead of self-reliant. Because what happens is something happens to that distributor. They cut you off. They go out of business. They run out of stock. Then you're running back to me.
To you. Yep.
Yeah. And that's not an efficient way to grow any business. So instead, I teach them the frameworks and the systems, the same ones that me and Sebastian used and train our team on to find every distributor we've ever opened an account with.
That's awesome. And I'm a firm believer in the school of hard knocks or teaching yourself and learning how to do something and not like being reliant on somebody. There's a lot of people that always ask me personally all the time, what are you selling right now? What are you selling here, there, and everything? Even though I show pretty much everything that I sell with retail arbitrage. And there's a reason why I do that. I just want to cover that real quick, is because retail arbitrage is not replenishable. Yeah. If I find this clearance item in Walmart, you might find it, but you're probably not going to find it.
I always wondered that. Are you doing a delay on those videos, or those are like you film it last night and you're uploading it the next day?
It depends. So
it depends how good the product
I did a video.
is.
Listen, I did a video where I went across the friggin' state of Florida. I went from Miami to Tampa, Miami to Naples to Tampa to Orlando. All over the place. Hours drive finding these little slushy machines that Marshall's was carrying. $49.99.
Yeah.
And they were selling for almost $150, between $140 and $150. And I think I ended up getting like 80 something over the course of the state. And they're like, oh, you only got like 80 something. And I'm like, yeah, but I made like $8,000. Like, you know what I mean? Like
for what? 2 days of driving?
Oh, what about gas? What about gas, bro?
Yeah.
My $50 fucking dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
$60 or whatever.
Even
it is.
after expenses, you pull in $6K.
$500, $6,000.
2-3 days. Come on.
Days, right?
Yeah.
So something like that, I definitely delayed that.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of resellers in Florida, particularly. I think Florida is the number 2 state, if not number 1 behind California for resellers in general. And I know there's a lot of people here that do RA. So normally if I go into like a Walmart, typically maybe a couple days will be delayed. Nothing too crazy. I used to delay them a week, but then like things would come up and then I wouldn't have content in time. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go out and record content and I'm going to upload it within a day or two and do that. But I do a, every Sunday we do a live in Walmart where we go in Walmart live, find products live on the fly. So a lot of times we fill our card up, Full Cart Gang. Shout out Full Cart Gang.
Full Cart Gang, shout out. What's up?
But we do that live so we can kind of show transparency on, hey, you know, it's one store, but we're either going to find stuff. Well, a lot of times we don't find stuff. But that's the reality of retail arbitrage.
It's part of the business.
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
You know, and speaking of that, there's a lot of people online that have been showing how much they've been in debt. I'm not going to say any names. I never do. I don't like to say any names. You know who you are. They're showing like credit card debt. And these guys are doing RA and OA, right? Not wholesale. Where you could get exclusive rights. Like you said at the beginning of the show, you have exclusive rights to certain brands. So if anything happens, here you go, boom, and you're good.
Yes.
I mean, they're talking RA, OA. They're charging up $250,000 on a credit card for RA and OA. And I understand the concept of trying to raise cash, right? You have to spend money to make money. That's the name of this game, no matter what it is with Amazon, right?
Yeah.
But with RA and OA, how do you feel about credit card debt, specifically with sellers like myself doing retail arbitrage or online arbitrage? And what do you think the risks are with running up such a $250,000 tab on a credit card?
Yeah. Listen, that's how I started my business, all on credit card utilization. I don't know if I'd want to call it debt, right? Credit card utilization. So 3 or 4 cards, maxing them out, $500,000, $600,000 a month. And we did that for years and years and years. It really helped us.
With RA?
In the beginning, with RA,
See, I've always said I would be nervous to rack up that high of an amount with RA or OA because Amazon gets on the listing, they'll smash you. Smash you. If it's too popular of a product, you'll have a ton of people on it, will smash you temporarily, possibly, right? Until you can be the last one out and maybe make a profit. But what happens if you get IP complaints or something where you've spent a lot of money on products and you start getting 1, 2, 3 IP complaints out of the 5 to 7 products you went in heavy with?
Yeah.
You know, how would you deal with something like that?
I suggest going wider on your SKU count. You know, it mitigates your risk. So instead of getting 5 products, get 25 products. Right.
And just don't get so many.
And don't get so many. Don't get so many because you could kill yourself, like you're saying. And also there's some great credit cards. I have no affiliation, but the Amex Plum gives you a 60-day payment window. So like you can literally buy the inventory, sell it, get the money dispersed back to you, and pay off the credit card.
Before it's even due.
You
said 80 days? Up to 80 days?
No, 60.
60 days?
60 days. And if you pay it back early, they give you a percentage points back. I think it's like 2 or 1.5 points back.
That's actually good information.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot
of
people don't realize that. So you could potentially buy something with the Plum card, send it in, right? Sometimes it takes a couple of weeks, right? But as long as you're within that 60-day window, you sell it because you want that volume. You want that velocity of sales. But you sell it, and then you pay off with the money you just pay it off within 60 days.
With the money you made from the product. So essentially, you're not spending any money. You know, and this is something that a lot of the drop shippers do. I'm sure you've seen listings where you'll see 10 FBM sellers, and they're like not making any money. You're like, how are these people making money?
They got like 4 reviews. They look like new accounts.
Yeah, and it's like you run the numbers. It's a break even. So it essentially is a break even. All they're doing is getting the credit card points. So even if they make a quarter on every sale, they're getting the 2 or 3% cash back, and that's how they're growing their business. It's not really an efficient way, but a lot of these people, they have no problem doing that.
With everything going on, with the massive business that you guys run, what is life like outside of Amazon? Like, what do you guys like to do? Is there time for anything? Like, I see you love spending time with your family. I always see you show mom and dad on the reels. I mean, we pay attention because I love that too. I spend a lot of my time with my daughters and my wife. But, you know, life outside of Amazon, how hard is it? And what do you most like to do non-Amazon related at all?
Yeah. You know, I met this girl on Instagram. Her name's Catherine, and which is such a blessing. You know, she came into my life at a very challenging time where a friend died from an overdose. And she sent me this message. I never met the girl, and she was like, hey, E, I've been following you for a little while, and your friend just passed away, and you just keep working. Like, maybe you should take some time to process this. Right, and that kicked off to this long conversation, and she ended up moving from Houston to New Jersey. So now, like, in our free time, what we love doing, I love going to, like, estate sales, you know, flea markets. We love going for walks and runs outside. And we've recently picked up this new hobby, which is Rover, which is an application where you can rent dogs.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, I don't have time for a dog. I'm all over the country, and so we'll pop in a Rover and be like, let's get a dog tomorrow.
That's wild. Well, I didn't know things like that existed.
Yeah, and actually, I misexplained it. You don't rent them; they pay you to keep them. So it's like, say you're going out of town, you have a dog.
Yep.
You pay me $50 a day. I keep the dog for a couple of days.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. And is there any kind of like liability that comes with that?
I'm sure it's all through the terms of service that you sign. Yeah.
Rover, huh?
Yeah.
Not affiliated, but Rover.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool. I never knew they had something like that.
Yeah. She just got her 1099 from them, and we started maybe August, so it was 3 months. It was like $2,200, and so she got paid to have fun with dogs. It's so cool.
That's wild. That's wild. Imagine that. I mean, just imagine that, you know? I mean, what a time to be alive, right? Are you into like any sports or anything? Do you guys, like, when you're in the warehouse, you guys put on any type of like UFC fights or like boxing or sports football, or when you're at home, or not so much sports?
Nah, I'm a no sport guy.
No sport guy?
I really could care less about sports. I think it's because I have no control over the outcome.
Okay.
Right? And so, like, me watching, you know, a bunch of guys run around is don't get me wrong, I don't dislike it. I just don't allocate my schedule to it.
It's funny because I'm really a no sports guy either. Like, I'll be in the moment with, and I talk with my hand a lot. So if you got home and if you're looking at me do this a lot, it's because I'm Italian. We just talk with our hands, and I got to sit on my hand. Yeah. You know what I mean? Take it easy on me, for Christ's sakes. I'm really a no sport guy either, but I know a buddy of mine, Ryan, shout out Dapper and Divine Salon, and he loves UFC, and he catches like every UFC fight, right? And I was with him one day. We were talking about this. Have you seen the slap boxing?
Yes. Seen videos on YouTube.
Dude.
Yeah.
Can we?
No joke.
No joke.
Dude, some of these guys get knocked out.
Knocked out.
It's crazy.
I would rather get into the octagon and have a chance to kind of defend myself than sit there. You're literally sitting like a guppy, and you're just waiting for that slap to come, like, bah! Like, it's like you can't block it. Nothing. It's just full on boom.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy
sport. Now, that's a sport I would entertain. You know? But after 10 minutes, it's like, how many people can you watch get slapped?
Right. I watched one guy, he broke his hand on some guy's face.
Oh, that's terrible.
And he was like, yo, I can't move anymore. Like, I can't do it. The guy slapped him, and he's like, yo, I can't do it. And he got disqualified. And then they have, I don't know, it's weird. I've only seen like the reels. I've only seen like highlights and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But like you, I'm not really so much of a sports guy. Did you catch the Super Bowl?
No, I didn't watch any of it.
You didn't watch the Super Bowl?
No, and now that we're talking about sports, while you were talking, I was just thinking I did one of those, what is it, the boxes, where you select the boxes, and I don't even know what the score was. I don't know if I won. I don't know. So after this, I'm going to check to see if I hit the score.
That's called squares.
Yeah, squares. Yeah.
Put a certain amount on a score or whatever.
My barber has one, and I put.
You were like, hey, let's just throw it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about have you heard about the the Jake Paul and Tommy Fury fight? Where
No.
Jake Paul is finally fighting a boxer.
No, I haven't heard of that bet, but I do always put money on Jake Paul when he fights. The guy's an animal.
So he is I can agree with you.
He's an animal.
He's definitely an animal.
Yeah.
But he's actually fighting a boxer this time. If you were to take a guess, a wild guess. Now, I'm not saying Tommy Fury's the best boxer because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, Tommy Fury, I don't like him. He sucks." Blah blah blah. Like I don't know this. I don't know none of them. I don't follow them like that. But he's actually going to fight a boxer, and I think Jake Paul has less to lose than Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
Imagine his father said he's going to disown him. He said, "Don't come home if you lose to Jake Paul."
Wow.
This guy, he fights in the UK fighter, UK boxer. I think his career will be over if Jake Paul beats him.
Yeah. I honestly, I'd put my money on Jake Paul because every fight that he has, I put my money on Jake Paul, and he always pays. So I think it's so much more. Not only is he skilled, right, but also he has the morale, and I think the enthusiasm and the dedication and the just the community around him that just hypes him up to the whole next level.
Totally. And dude, what about his brother now? So Jake Paul got into boxing because of Logan Paul, right? Logan Paul started it, but now Logan's going into
Prime
UFC, dude.
Oh, UFC.
He signed with Dana White.
Yeah. That's
I
crazy.
don't know. I think he's gonna get wrecked, but you said Prime.
Oh, the drink, man.
Have you tried it?
No, I have not. Maybe I have. I don't recall, but I know that they did. I think it was 2022, $250 million.
They're wiping the floor with Gatorade.
Yeah,
They're just crushing it.
It's a $1 billion business. It's crazy what they've done with that.
And I'm glad you brought that up because like from a business standpoint, these guys are started out like Jake, and I'm not trying to make this a Jake Paul. I just kind of like we just kind of went in that direction.
Going
But
on tangents.
These kids were on the Disney Channel.
Yeah,
they started vlogging stuff on YouTube. They built an audience. And they went from building an audience to building brands.
Yeah.
So now they're using their audience. I mean, they ran a Super Bowl ad. Imagine the first YouTuber or the first influencer or whatever creator they call it.
Was it for Prime?
For Prime.
Yeah.
And they just threw a lot of their older skits together, him and KSI, because KSI is huge in UK. And then, it's just unbelievable.
It is.
It's just the power of YouTube.
It's the power of social media in general. You know, and that whenever I see these huge, like you look at the Kardashians, they got whatever 150 million followers. Like the power you have to not only monetize but reach that many people, it's completely life changing.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy. Maybe one day I'll have a drink. I'm gonna call it.
What would you call it?
I call it Hustle Juice.
Hustle Juice.
I am actually working on a hot sauce.
Nice.
For the show called The Boss Hot Sauce.
Nice.
My wife was like, "Why don't you call it Hustle Habanero?" And I'm like, "No, that could be a flavor though."
Flavor,
and just totally just have fun with it. You know what I mean? I got a guy in over on the west coast of Florida who is a distributor. I think it's I don't want to say it, but it's like $1 something a bottle
to get it made.
To get it made, the whole thing labeled and everything. They'll do the artwork.
Yeah.
I just have to send them the picture. They'll put it on. They'll put the label, all the, food, whatever they have to clear, the ingredients and all that shit. It's wild.
Yeah.
Wild. Coming soon. The Boss Hot Sauce.
Yeah.
Wait for it. Okay. Going back to Amazon, what processes do you have in place to know that your day is going to be successful? So you wake up in the morning and like, do you think to yourself, you know what, it's going to be a real good day today? Or you wake up and you're like, man, I got to do this. I remember I had to do this yesterday. And now like what are some of the processes, daily processes, I guess, to help you be successful each day and to keep that positivity?
Yeah, so I don't think I ever wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, crap, I got to do this today. I think I wake up with just the motivation, enthusiasm, and positivity to get me through another day. And that's just from a pure gratitude standpoint. But really what keeps my whole schedule together is Google Calendar. My Google Calendar, if I don't finish something yesterday for whatever reason, it's getting moved to today, right? And like I wake up in the morning, it's the first thing I check. What's my day look like? You know?
I just downloaded that, by the way. I've never used Google Calendar before.
Yeah, any calendar it will work. But it connects all my businesses. Right. So I got the Amazon Lit, the Amazon business, my wholesale business, my personal email, all of it's in there. So I even got like dentist appointment, like everything's on my calendar.
Everything's in there, man. Everything is like color coded. You got yellow, green, red, blue. Shit, I got a full day, man. I got to get it done. Yeah. The man just got off the plane and came right here.
Yeah,
he was like,
it's because it's on my calendar. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have been here.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, and then right when I wake up, usually first thing I do, I go into the office a little later now. So another big component of my life is trained employees, which alleviate a lot of the pressure on my life. So usually what I do is pop into Seller Central first thing in the morning, as well as our REPRICER, and just check the numbers, previous day sales, profits. I look for any outliers, products that are selling really well. Is there an opportunity to raise their price, make some more money on them? Do I have to decrease the price because they're not moving as well? So like my first hour and a half of the day is jumping into the Amazon business.
So you're pretty involved with the Amazon business, not so much delegating other people to do it. Like you're right in there in the day-to-day functions of the business.
Yeah. I'm at the office 5 days a week, and obviously not the whole day is spent on the Amazon business. Probably only 15 to 20 hours is actually on the Amazon business. The rest is, helping other people, Amazon Lit, consulting, stuff like that.
What do you think about VAs helping?
Yeah, I think if they're trained properly, they could be a huge resource. But if they're not, you're just throwing money down the drain.
How do you know if they? So the reason why I ask is me personally. A lot of people ask me, they're like, why don't you get some VAs, Richie, to help source certain things or certain areas?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if I want to train somebody. I don't think I'm at that point where I want to do that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, so what you're saying is you can't just hire a VA that says they have experience in this and then boom.
Absolutely not.
You'd have to show them your process, your systems that you're using.
Yes. And the best way to do that is the first one you bring on, record what you're teaching them. And then you'll never have to not never, but you will never have to spend as much time training the next one because you literally train someone and have it all recorded and you share that with them.
What's that via, like screen share or something?
Yeah, Loom or
Loom
or Zoom, or there's a bunch of other recording softwares you can use.
You can get VAs pretty cheap, right? I mean, you're talking like $2 an hour.
Yeah, but I don't have any $2 an hour VAs. I prefer to go like $5 and up, only because you get what you pay for.
What you pay for. I agree. I mean, $5, and I mean that's still a bargain, right? To take a certain load off of your table,
and also take care of them. Like the other day, we have like 8 or 9 VAs that work with our buyers, and I said, hey, ask them what their setup is. Like, do they have 3 monitors? Because if they're working off one laptop, they're so inefficient, they're not getting anything done. They could 3x their production by getting 3 monitors. So they asked them if they had the monitors. They all said no. So we, sent them the money to go buy the monitors. And something like that is huge for somebody. Because not only because I know we're not the only company they're working for. Right. So make them more efficient in their life, which will increase the quality of their life, which is the name of the game.
So do they have to sign what you just said there, where they're working for other companies? Do they have to sign some kind of like privacy clause, like where if you're sharing information with them, they're not sharing it with somebody else that they might be working with that does similar work to you?
Yeah, you can absolutely get that set up through an NDA, but I'm not sure what the legality of is from country to country. So I don't even know how that would withstand. So we don't have them sign anything.
I always got skeptical about using.
I don't know
either. What the fuck is it called?
Place to get
a place to get your shit. Where do you send your shit? So that way they can fucking prep it. Thank you. Yeah. Prep center. I've always been skeptical about using prep centers in general because they work with nothing but pretty much resellers and wholesalers. And I always feel like I think to myself, I'm like, yo, if my best friend ran a prep center, he'd be sending me all the fucking good shit.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like maybe you're not supposed to,
no,
but he'd be sending it to me. And I always get suspicious, like, because you don't sign. When I worked with a prep center, which I had good experience at first and then a really bad experience after. Where to the point I brought the prep center 100 boxes from Home Depot because they didn't have the right size for certain toys. Like it was like at that level, it's like you're a prep center. You don't have. I'm spent $100 to bring you boxes. Yeah. Right. I always thought to myself, and he was working with Taylor Jones because he's the one that told me about. Yeah. So he told me about it, and I always thought to myself, I'm like, how do I know that you're not sharing information? Right, because we don't sign anything saying you're going to keep my stuff private.
Yeah,
I just always got skeptical of prep centers. I mean, do you advocate for prep centers with the cost, right? Because when I looked for prep center cost, they wanted $1.75 per item, and I was like, it's actually cheaper to have Amazon prep.
Yeah.
So how do you justify using like a prep center, or maybe you don't justify using a prep center? Like, what do you think about prep centers?
We use prep center for some of our items.
You do?
Usually if it's West Coast stuff. If I'm getting stuff from a supplier in the West Coast to ship it East Coast and then send it to Amazon, a full truckload, you're talking $2,500 to get that shipped over here. That's a nice chunk of change.
So it's a lot easier just to pay the prep center.
Yeah, you pay the prep center, and it depends on how complicated the prep is. If it's a one-sticker item, you're right. Send it to Amazon. They could label it for whatever it is now, 55 cents, I think.
55 cents,
Yeah. But if you're doing bundles or multi-packs and you got the shampoo conditioner combo,
you gotta bag it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bag it. Now you're talking $1.10, I think.
Yeah.
Or even more, I think, because it's 55 cents plus 75 cents, is it, for a poly bag, depending on how big it is?
Yeah, I don't even.
I've paid $1.10 for a poly bag.
Yeah.
For a big item.
Yeah.
Like $1.10 for. I mean, I could have bought 1,000 poly bags for $20.
And then as far as them protecting your data, the way I see it is those businesses aren't going to last. They're just not going to last. They're not operating their companies properly. So think about, like, I don't know what the beef was with the company that you were doing business with, but I saw it on social media and I saw you talking about it as well as other people. So, like, that's a business killer. With social media, everybody talks about everything.
Killed my Q4.
Yeah.
Killed my Q4. I brought them, without getting too much into it, I brought them items at the end of November. It was my last RA shipment in there for Q4.
Yeah.
I had like almost 300 products I had dropped off, and it sat there.
Yeah.
It sat there. Normally they're pretty good. They had an online program where you could say, okay, this is what I want sent, boom, and then I will tell them, okay, we're gonna pack it up and send it.
Yeah.
They didn't do that until December 23rd.
It's too late by then.
Too late. So almost every product that was selling, I bought a bunch of shit from Kohl's. Tanked.
Yeah.
Can't sell it. Couldn't make a profit.
Yeah.
I either broke even or I lost money on almost everything I sent.
Yeah.
Because I had to do it myself. I went.
Yeah.
They said they couldn't do it, and I went and picked it up, and I said, I'll just send it myself.
Yeah.
Loaded up my truck twice. I had to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Gas, Miami, Tobacco, all that shit, and did it myself. I really got screwed, and that's just that was the big killer where I was like, yo, I just can't. I can't. I was already skeptical about prep centers, but this was just like, I'll never use prep centers again. And I shouldn't have that mentality because not all prep centers are created equal.
No, they're not all equal.
I mean?
No. There's some great prep centers out there.
What do you think about using prep centers to protect yourself from taxes, like going into like a tax-free state? Good strategy or no?
Yeah, absolutely. It's better than going to a non-tax-free state. So, anywhere you can save.
True.
Is
Anywhere
good.
you can save is good.
Anywhere you can save is good.
Online arbitrage or retail arbitrage?
Like, which one is better?
As far as scalability, or if you think of like the overall picture of online arbitrage without using a prep center, say, okay, you're just getting stuff delivered to your house. Do you think online arbitrage or RA you think is more effective?
Well, from a time perspective, I would say online arbitrage is probably more effective, only because running around to all the stores. I did it for 2 years.
Right.
And it's very, very time consuming. It's a hustle.
It is a hustle, and it is time consuming. There was there'd be days where I would go to I think 7 or 8 Walmarts, and I'd only be able to pull out things maybe from 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And even recording content, you're only recording 2 or 3 videos because you don't want every video to be, hey, I found nothing. You know what I mean? Because that's why a lot of people are like, oh, you only upload the good stuff. And it's like, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to really show you and just upload like 10 videos and 7 of them I find nothing?
Yeah.
Like nobody wants that shit. Entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment. They want to be entertained. They want to see those bangers, the cart full.
They want to see the full cart. They want to see 2 carts together, 3 carts together. Walmart changed their whole thing up, man. Those days are long gone.
Yeah.
As of right now. Yeah. Long gone. It's been like that for a year and a half there.
Yeah.
And if you didn't diversify and get ungated and certain brands like Nike, Adidas, all these bigger brands, then you were kind of stuck.
Yeah.
You were just like, shit, like I can't source at Walmart as much anymore.
Yeah.
What do I do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other things that you hustle with, that you make money. You still pretty big into NFTs and crypto, or how do you view?
I'm holding a bag of NFTs.
Are you holding a bag? I saw you post something. I don't know if it was
bag.
last week or something where somebody made you an offer for wrapped ether.
Yes.
And by the way, full disclosure, we're not promoting anything. We're not promoting any projects or coins. We're just talking about what we have in our experiences.
Yeah.
Did you accept the offer?
No.
It was like
I'm
for
holding
4
that.
ETH or something like that.
Yeah.
For like 6,000 or something.
Yeah.
No,
I'm holding that.
Is that Wolfpack stuff?
Wolf game.
Because I see your
Wolf
icon,
game.
right?
Yeah.
Where's that icon now? It's not on Instagram anymore. It's
Twitter.
On Twitter. That's where I saw it.
Yeah.
What do you think? Where do you see like NFTs and crypto going? You still a big believer in like NFT projects or?
Well, at this point, I'm just so far invested. I'm just holding the bag. If I was to liquidate everything now, I'd be out hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Same thing with crypto.
Yeah.
I'm more crypto than NFT. I have a couple NFTs. Nothing big. It was I actually bought into Jake Paul was promoting it.
Yeah.
It was something like
An egg or something.
the devil things or whatever.
Yeah.
I bought 4 of them for like $200 to mint them. They're worth shit.
Yeah.
Right now they're worth shit.
Nobody wants to buy them.
The only NFTs I really get into is the Vivi app. Have you heard of that?
No.
So Vivi has partnerships with Disney and Marvel and Star Wars and all these other big companies, right?
Yeah.
And they release these virtual comic books.
Yeah.
They also do virtual like figures and stuff like that. It's really cool, and it's all within the app. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is, so I've invested in I'm a big comic.
Yeah,
I love comics, comics, Funkos,
yeah,
TCGs, all that shit, right? I've bought a ton of these digital comics, and they've gone up a little bit. They've come down a lot. They've gone up a little bit. They've come down even more, right? It's just kind of up and down. But the one thing I don't like about it is you can't take it off the app. Everything is done on the app.
Can't transfer it anywhere.
You can't transfer it anywhere.
I don't even know.
They're working on that.
Yeah.
So everything is held in. I'll show you off line or whatever. But everything is bought in this app, and this world is they use the OMI. It's like the OMI token or something like that. And I don't know too much about it. All I know is it's legitimately licensed with Marvel and Disney. It's like the only place where they have exclusive rights to these items, like these Disney drops, like stamps, pictures, like all this stuff. It's wild, but I just don't like how you can't transfer it anywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll fix that. And things like that, like Disney's been around for since the 20s. So like stuff like that is timeless, man. People will always be seeking to buy something Disney related. Or
I was gonna do with you if you came with Sebastian. I was gonna do the 60-second speed round with just like weird questions, but I'm not going to do 60 seconds. I'm just going to ask you the questions.
Okay.
Because it's no point to do it with one person. You know what I mean? But there's just a list of questions that I wanted to maybe catch you off guard, which is why it was a speed round.
Yeah, let's do it.
Between you and Sebastian, you guys are always in the limelight on social media. Who has more style, do you think?
Definitely me.
You have more style,
100%.
more swag?
Yeah.
More swag?
100%.
Okay. Who is more stubborn between the both of you at work? Who can hold that grudge longer?
Probably Sebastian.
Yeah?
Yeah, probably Sebastian. And that's not just because he's not here. That's like,
okay.
These are my honest answers.
Who is your best supplier?
Yeah, that's not happening.
That's why I wanted to do it on the speed round. I wanted to see if I could catch it, but they're not slipping, man. They're not slipping.
No.
Right now, could you share what's your most profitable item or?
No, it's a grocery product. I can share that. Yeah.
I saw. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before that, but you said one of your most profitable products was dishwasher liquid.
Yeah.
How much of that did you sell?
A lot. Well over $1 million.
$1 million of dish soap, bro.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, I think you kind of answered this, but I was going to say health and beauty or grocery.
I think they're equally even.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't prefer one over the other?
No, I think they both have their benefits and they're consumables. People always will be shopping for them. You use a deodorant stick, you need another one next month. You need a bag of chips, you need another one next week.
And now with the grocery, I'm not sure if you can do it in health and beauty. Maybe you can. But with grocery, you can subscribe. Can you do that with health and beauty as well?
Yeah, subscribe.
People can subscribe so that automatically just replenishes the consumer's need.
Yeah. And here's a nugget for everybody. Grocery items that sell at $15 or less, you get an 8% referral fee instead of a 15% referral fee.
Really?
Yeah.
On that subscription?
No, on the entire purchase. So instead of getting 15%, your Amazon's only taking
8%.
Yeah. So
good little nugget.
Yeah.
And then your favorite category to sell in, which
it'd be grocery, health and beauty.
Do you guys still sell cheddar wisps?
No.
You don't sell it at all?
No, we got removed from the exclusive agreement we had with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went in there, you crushed it for them.
Crushed it.
And they were just like, all right, thank you for helping us make all this money.
Yeah.
Buy now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it a bad breakup?
No, it wasn't. It just, I don't even know how it happened. I feel like it happened and now that I look back, I feel like it happened fast, but I remember being like angry certain days, like why not us? They picked another Amazon partner to go with it. And now that I look back, I know why, because that Amazon partner, they didn't sell everything like we did. They focused on like keto, paleo, gluten-free. They were like a very niche distributor on Amazon.
And so their catalog, they felt like maybe catered to their brand.
Yes.
Okay. And I say that because I've had issues with distributors. When I would talk to a distributor about selling a certain product, they would say, well, what's your Amazon store? And I would share it. Stupid me, I think. But I would share it, and they would say, well, you sell kind of everything. You sell toys, you sell soap, you sell this, and I don't think it's a good fit for our brand. And I'm like, okay, right? But we don't cry about it. We try again.
No,
right? We don't
try again,
There's hundreds and thousands of distributors out there you could be looking for.
Yeah.
I do have questions from Instagram. As people asked, I put up a story that said if anybody wanted to ask questions for Amazon Lit, I said I would feature their question. First question comes from the Mile High Hustlers. Shout out Linda and Greg. They ask, what is the strangest / wildest thing you have sold on Amazon for a decent profit?
Oh, definitely 100% without a doubt. Chicken coop doors.
Chicken coop doors.
Yeah. Chicken coop automatic. So like if you have a chicken coop, it like at 8 in the morning, it opens the door, and then at 9 at night, it closes the door. So automatic chicken coop doors. We killed it with those.
And you just... That's wild, man.
Yeah.
I would never think. I thought you were going to say sex toys.
No, we've sold some of those.
I'm
too,
sure.
But
Yeah,
I think the chicken coop is weirder.
Chicken coop.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing either.
And they're
Automatic
expensive
chicken
too.
doors.
Talking $200-300 for an automatic chicken door.
Just opens up.
Yeah.
Chickens come out to play.
Yeah.
They go to bed. Shuts the door.
Yeah, it just really goes to show how much of middle America really exists out
Right.
there. You know?
Right. Especially if you're killing it with decent profit on that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You guys have a third partner.
Yeah.
So I always hear about the elusive Ted.
Yeah, Humble Ted.
Humble Ted.
Humble Ted, Sebastian's uncle.
So that's Sebastian's uncle.
Yeah,
I did not know
that's
that.
where we started the business from.
Humble Ted's house. Okay, so I didn't know Ted was the uncle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes total sense now.
We're going to Vegas next week, and he's coming out there, so we're excited about that.
Does he like social media? Or he's not crazy about it?
No,
He'd
he has an
rather just-
Instagram. It doesn't have a picture. It doesn't.
He's like one of the Instagram models, like you, like that friend you, and you get all excited, right? All the single guys out there getting excited from the girl who friends them, and then you find out they have like 7 followers, and it's like, oh, you're a fake account.
Yeah.
He just in the background chills.
Yeah, Humble Ted.
Cool.
He brought a whole different perspective to the business. He's what helped us turn it from a side hustle to a business, because he worked for a very large bread manufacturer for almost 30 years.
Damn.
So he brought in like management skills, how to deal with people. He also brought in some great vendor relationships. So he taught us a lot about how to be business owners, because Sebastian and I, we were kids, early 20s. We didn't know what we were doing.
That's wild. Early 20s. I'm not going to lie. I wish I got into the business in my early 20s.
Yeah.
My early 20s would have been early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an old fossil. I'm an old soul now. Jeffrey GZ12 on Instagram says, what do I need to know? And I don't even know if this is an appropriate question to ask, because I already know his answer probably, but he asks, what do I need to know about sales tax?
Consult a CPA or an accountant or a bookkeeper.
That's exactly what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not taxed. We have to have, we're concerned with running the sales side of the business, and we have somebody else handle the tax side of the business. Is there any tax advantages that you take advantage of, or that somebody could take advantage of, like to get an idea of like when they use programs for selling, or if they use is there any type of things that you could recommend? Like I had to switch to QuickBooks. So I used to use Intuit GoDaddy bookkeeping, which integrated right into Amazon, but they shut down.
And what do you use now? A2X
So now
to QuickBooks?
So I use QuickBooks, and then I haven't found an integrator yet.
A2X.
A2X?
Yeah,
That's
integrates directly Seller Central to QuickBooks.
Honestly, I'm surprised that QuickBooks, if you're listening, man, why don't you have an Amazon integration with we're in 2023.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how difficult it would be to log into the AWS, but
yeah. Well, that's what A2X does. It basically imports all the data directly into QuickBooks.
Logs all the fees, all that stuff.
And then QuickBooks is great because you connect your credit card, you can connect all your accounts, your bank account, and then all you got to do is pop in every day or once a week and categorize the things you're spending money on. So this is maybe services, this was travel, this was airfare, which would be travel. This was a food expense, and then it's all tracked at the end of the year. The government changed it to where you can now write off, I believe it's 100% of your food expense.
100% of your food expense.
Yeah,
Before it was only
great.
50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great.
That is true. How much money did you do before you got somebody else to do the tax for you?
Like, it was first year, I would imagine.
Because you just didn't want to deal with the headache. It was just worth it to have somebody else take care of it.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. I found that out the hard way. Found that out.
And just a suggestion to everybody, make sure you're putting first of all, you should be paying quarterly taxes, right? So then at the end of the year, you don't have this giant tax burden.
Right.
And you're like, what? I owe $100,000 in taxes? Like, where am I going to get that from? So quarterly is huge, absolutely. And then even quarterly, you should be putting something aside every disbursement so you can pay that quarterly. Because if you have access to it, if you're anything like me, you're going to invest it in inventory, and then, you know, that quarter is going to come, and you're going to be like, I got to dump $25,000 into the government. You know?
The government's always going to get their share, guys. Yeah. There's just no way around it. You know, what about like LLCs? What do you think? Everybody needs an LLC. Like I have an LLC. I think it's a huge tool. What do you think about LLCs and S corps and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, an LLC gives you a level of protection. You know, hence the name limited liability company. So you're able to separate if anything, God forbid, was to happen in any business you're in. You know, they can only take what's under the LLC. They can't take any of your personal assets. And
there is a clause to that, though, because if you mix business with personal and you're using your business for everything. They can actually dissolve that in court and say, if they can prove that you were like literally using everything for personal, you know, you're going out getting steak dinners and you're going food shopping and you're trying to write off that $300 food shopping bill every single time, or even just once. If you're mixing personal with business, they can dissolve that. So don't think you got total protection, but for the most part, you have protections. Yeah. What are you getting into this weekend?
So I'm about to go check into my Airbnb. We got, like I said, Sebastian brought his mom down here, the whole gang. So we got a nice Airbnb with a pool, and a bunch of rooms. We're going to hang out there. So I'm going to go check in there and then go pop in and say what's up to everybody.
Staying here in Miami?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow you got there's a 2-day event, right?
I'm only doing day 1. I'm not doing day 2. Day 2's a yacht.
Oh, they're doing a yacht?
Yeah, they're doing a yacht.
Ah, okay. Are you going back to New Jersey tomorrow, or are you waiting till Monday?
I'm leaving Sunday night.
Sunday night?
Yeah.
You back in the office on Monday?
Yeah, and then I'm straight to Vegas on Wednesday.
Man is working on the holiday.
Yeah.
You don't have Monday off?
Nah, there's no.
You don't really take holidays off?
No, I work 7 days a week.
24/7.
No, last night my girl was like, let's go to bed. It was like 1 a.m. So we're putting my family dog down tomorrow. So I went.
I'm sorry to hear that.
My mom called me last night. She's like, we got to do it in the next 2 days. So
Is that why I saw the dog when you said it for the last time? I thought it was just because you were traveling.
No, it's literally, So like my mom called me 11 o'clock. She's like, hey, E, I just want to let you know, like I'm going to have to drive. You're going to have to come down here tomorrow, the next day, to see Polly. And I was like, I can't. I'm going to Miami in the morning. I'll be there in an hour. I just got to finish it when I'm working. So I went down there. We didn't get home till 1 a.m. I went on my balcony, was checking Instagram, and I come in, and my girl's in the bed. She's like, you coming? I was like, I got to hop on the computer. Just 10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. I don't stop, man. It's a problem. It's a gift and a curse. I think it's more of a gift than a curse.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
It's a balance.
Yeah, and with I agree with you 100%. You know, I'm in a different direction than the whole wholesale and 100% all in on Amazon, but I'm trying to be 50% Amazon, 50% YouTube, but I really like the YouTube game, and I like how I can be diversified with different things that I want to do.
Yeah.
Hence the podcast, hence reselling. I even have a gaming channel, which tonight is Friday, so we're doing Fortnite Fridays on the gaming channel, which has been gaining some traction, but it's just kind of like my escape. You know what I mean? It's my 5 or 6 hours a week that I just get to sit, talk with people, be live, just do something other than
you enjoy
working in my business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's important. You need to have that.
Totally is. You need that mental state, you know what I mean, to just kind of like reset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mornings. What time you up in the morning? What time you come home at night? Because I remember seeing you at like 1 a.m. in the warehouse being like, yo, I got my 3rd cup of coffee tonight, man. I'm working, man. It's 1:45 and I'm ready to head out of here.
Typical day, I'm up 7 a.m., so nothing crazy.
Okay.
You know, sometimes, but if I need to sleep in, I just sleep in. I don't set an alarm.
Okay.
I naturally wake up at 7
Naturally wake up.
Yeah.
You know what time I naturally wake up if I don't set an alarm? I'm waking
11?
up at 9 o'clock.
Oh, no.
No. Like 8:39. I wake up about 6:30 every day now because my daughter has school. She's gonna get ready for school.
Yeah.
So during the week I'm up at 6:30. I don't set my alarm. But during the weekends when I still want to wake up early, I have to set an alarm or else I'm up at 8:30, 9 o'clock because I'm in bed at 12, sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So I gotta force myself up. You believe in 8 hours sleep?
I do, but I'm not. I think it depends on the person. I'm fully functional, and I think at the highest level, 6.5 hours for me personally.
Yeah, I need a minimum of at least 5 hours minimum. Anything less than that, it's going to be a tough day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but first thing for me is coffee, man.
You need
it's
coffee.
a problem, yeah.
You never give up coffee.
No.
Never, ever.
No.
You would never switch to like tea, caffeinated tea? Or...
No, no.
How many cups a day?
Oh, 7 to 10. Yeah, it's crazy.
Are you really?
Yeah.
7 to 10?
Especially if I work from home and the coffee pot. I'll drink the entire coffee pot.
That's wild.
And I don't know how many cups are in a coffee pot, but it's a lot.
Dude, 12 cups.
Yeah.
Sometimes 10, but mostly
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
I thought I was bad with 3 or 4 cups a day.
Yeah.
Especially because if I'm working from home.
Yeah.
1 in the morning, 1 around lunchtime, 1 mid-lunch, 1 after dinner.
Yeah.
I'm just chugging away.
Yeah.
One last question, I guess, is if you could give one piece of advice to somebody just starting out, what would that piece of advice be? Just starting out in Amazon, looking to scale either their RA, OA, or wholesale business, whatever they're in the field of. What would be the one piece of information you would tell them to pay attention to, or to
So for someone who's already operating,
but they're just starting out?
yeah, focus on your buying. Buying is the foundation of your company. It doesn't matter how cheap your prep is, how efficient you are prepping your own inventory, how cheap you could get it shipped to Amazon. If you're not buying the right products, it doesn't even matter. So focus on buying, because now you are the buyer, right? So if you don't hone in on those skills, you'll never be able to build a team that can buy for you. And building a team that can buy for you will free up your time to focus on the growth of the business while they are growing the business.
Love it. Love it. And by the way, I love your rings, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Are you starting a collection? Because I noticed that you post when you go out and you buy the rings. I love it. You know I follow you, right?
Yeah,
I'm always
I know that.
always keeping up to date. I love
just
it.
bought two new ones. They're really dope. They got these diamonds in them. I don't have them on. They're in my
Is that
bag.
a nugget ring? I got to have a nugget ring.
Yeah.
On the first finger?
This is a nugget. I got this
Love
at
that.
a pawn shop in Houston.
That's dope.
I always buy like random, when I
Yeah.
go places.
Love it. And then I guess the absolute last question to somebody who is currently selling on Amazon, right? And they're hitting those roadblocks. They're hitting restricted products. And I know the simple answer is keep scanning until you find what you can sell.
Yeah.
But is there any other advice, any direction you could point somebody in to get around those roadblocks?
Yeah. So get an invoice from a supplier whose invoice works for ungating on Amazon.
And it's easy as Google searching it.
Well, no, I could give you some names. So East Bay is a great one. EE Distribution's a great one.
I think East Bay went bankrupt though.
No, they changed to Champs. I think.
Oh,
it's
did they?
Champs
So now it's Champs
Yeah,
now.
it's
Okay.
Champs. Yeah. So you're right. It's Champs. EE Distribution's another one. Frontier Co-op for grocery.
Yep.
Like these are all retail websites that will give you invoices. You just need at least 10 items purchased from them, and it will expedite the ungating process because it's impossible to get ungated when you're buying stuff from Target and Walmart. You know?
All right, man. Well, look, I appreciate you coming down and talking to us. I hope you have a great weekend. Hopefully we can get up together soon. I know you're here for a short time, or else
Yeah.
I'd say let's get together. But I know you got your thing, and I have to head back because I have my lives and all that
Nice.
good stuff. So
Yeah.
appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Thank you so
Richie.
much.
It always is.
Guys, make sure you subscribe and check out Amazon Lit. The social medias are all the same.
Amazon Lit, some with an underscore, Amazon underscore Lit, but yeah, Amazon Lit.
We'll definitely put all the social media links in the description. We'll put the link to the eSellers RI if you guys are interested in checking that out. Thanks everybody for checking out this episode of The Boss Podcast. Who's the Boss with Amazon Lit. Guys, make sure you subscribe, give a like, and I will catch you on the next one. Amazon Lit, thank you again for being here. Mr. Eric Castellano, appreciate you being here with us, and I hope everybody has a good day. Can you
Stay lit.
stay lit, baby? Peace out, everybody.
I'll see you.
Got a fresh line up, get fresh outfit, but the hat a parking lot don't smash. Nothing I can see. This guy